As the trash was stuffed into the bags one by one, the prisoners finished their litter cleanup. But the very next second, all the trash was knocked to the ground. After Marge witnessed this, she immediately slapped Homer, the culprit, awake. The two were just about to return the rental car when they were told the tank was still full. Homer immediately decided he had to use up all the gas, so he drove off with Bart at breakneck speed. But that still wasn't enough for him. He even towed a yacht behind the car and drove the car up onto a bridge to idle and burn fuel. He even used the car's momentum to launch Bart into a tackle.
Dad, I gotta pee. No, it's a rental, but I'd rather go in the woods.
Homer even suggested that Bart relieve himself right there in the car. Needless to say, Bart flatly refused his absurd proposal. Bart then walked into the dense forest.
Sketch what you see.
After some struggling, he finally managed to relieve himself. But the very next second, he stepped on a mysterious manhole cover. The cover read, "Do not jump on." Seeing this, Bart stomped and jumped on it with all his might and ended up falling straight into the deep well. When Bart came to, he turned on his special flashlight to look around, then made his way to the hatch and flipped the power switch. To his surprise, he discovered he was in an abandoned Air Force base. Not only was the equipment intact, but there were even missiles standing upright overhead that had remained in place for decades. But before long, Bart found the place incredibly boring, so he decided to leave. He hopped onto his homemade cart and leaped, smoothly sliding down to the escape ladder. But just as he was about to climb out of the tunnel, the ladder suddenly shook violently and snapped completely. Bart fell heavily back into the well again. With no other choice, Bart had to start looking for an escape route all over again. Fortunately, he soon found a rotary phone. As it turned out, the very first call Bart made was actually a prank call to Moe. The phone line caught fire the very next second. Bart's hopes of escaping were completely dashed. Meanwhile, the others hadn't stopped searching for Bart. Soon, Milhouse located the well opening using Bart's hat. He immediately threw down his cell phone, hoping Bart could save himself, but the phone shattered on impact. Meanwhile, the police search had made no progress. The news even reported that Bart had died.
Channel 6 is now projecting that Bart Simpson is dead. That's right, self-proclaimed underachiever Bart Simpson dead at the age of 10.
The Simpson family was plunged into deep grief. Milhouse rushed to the Simpson house Lisa thought he had come to comfort her. She immediately threw her arms around Milhouse and held him tight. To preserve that moment of warmth, Milhouse chose to keep Bart's survival a secret. Meanwhile, Bart's arch-rival Bob couldn't accept the news of Bart's death, so he went to the Simpsons' house in person. He saw right through Milhouse's unusual behavior. After a barrage of threats and bribes, Milhouse had no choice but to lead him to the bottom of the well where Bart was. At that moment, Bart was leisurely listening to music, completely unaware of the danger approaching. Bob suddenly appeared behind him. Bart thought he was finally being rescued, but the next second, he was strapped onto the missile. Bob inserted the launch key, but the control panel showed no reaction. Prompted by Bart's sarcastic remark, Bob scrambled with both hands and feet and finally pushed the key all the way in. The missile immediately began its launch countdown. By the time Homer finally arrived at the forest, the missile had successfully launched, but to everyone's surprise, Bart wasn't on the missile. It turned out that at the very last moment, Bob had managed to save Bart. The two put their differences aside and made up.
I just can't get a clean shot.
Also, you don't have a gun.
I'm useless, all right.